We have always known Harry Potter as a hero, someone who stood against darkness, who chose love, who sacrificed himself. But in this story, we ask a different question. What if Harry Potter didn't fight the darkness, but embraced it? What if the fragment of Voldemort's soul inside him wasn't suppressed, but became the core of who he was? This is not a story where Harry becomes evil. It is a story where Harry becomes more calculated, more controlled, and far more dangerous. In this video, we explore an alternate timeline where Harry Potter chooses the dark path and how that choice reshapes 7 years at Hogwarts. And it all begins not at Hogwarts, but in a cupboard under the stairs. The cupboard. Under the stairs, Harry Potter's story is often said to begin with a miracle. But in truth, it begins with neglect. Privet Drive, number 4. A narrow, dark cupboard under the stairs. In the original story, there was a frightened child living there, but in this version, there is no frightened child. The child who lives here remembers everything: the hunger, the neglect, the humiliation, and most of all, the absence of love. This Harry does not cry. He does not break. He does not beg. This Harry watches, and he is not alone in the darkness, because there are whispers. At first, they are faint, almost indistinguishable from his own thoughts. A quiet voice that tells him, they fear you, because you are different, because you are powerful. Harry does not know this voice belongs to a fragment of Voldemort's soul, but he does not reject it either. He accepts it, not as an enemy, but as an ally. The voice teaches him one thing above all else: endure, remember, and when the time comes, take control. When Dudley shouts, Harry does not fight back. When Petunia belittles him, Harry lowers his head. But inside, there is only one thought: one day I won't need this. Slowly, something inside Harry changes. Not into rage, not into madness, but into control. And that is why, when Hagrid finally breaks down the door, Harry does not panic. He does not tremble. He does not cry with joy. When Hagrid says, "You're a wizard, Harry," Harry thinks only this: I knew it. It is not a surprise, it is a confirmation. Because the boy in the cupboard always knew he was meant to be powerful. And in this story, Harry Potter's darkness does not begin at Hogwarts. It is born in the cupboard under the stairs. The path to Slytherin. The Hogwarts Express was not an escape for Harry. It was a stage. For the first time, he was surrounded by people like him. But instead of relaxing, he became more observant. When he met Ron Weasley, Harry did not look down on his poverty, but he immediately noticed his weakness. Ron admired him. And admiration to Harry was not friendship. It was a sign of superiority. Draco Malfoy, however, was different. A powerful family, the right connections, confidence shaped from birth. When Draco extended his hand, Harry understood this was not a gesture of friendship. It was an invitation. Join me. But Harry had no need to join anyone. He did not follow. Harry didn't shake Draco's hand. But he didn't reject him either. He simply nodded and smiled. Because Draco was not a leader, but he was a useful tool. At the sorting ceremony, Harry watched carefully. Ron sent to Gryffindor. Draco welcomed into Slytherin. And when it was Harry's turn, the sorting hat sank deep into his mind. This time, it did not find suppressed goodness. It found raw talent, cunning, manipulation, a willingness to bend rules, and above all, a hunger for control. The hat did not hesitate. Slytherin. The Great Hall fell silent. The boy who defeated the Dark Lord as a baby was a Slytherin. That was the moment Dumbledore began to see Harry differently. And for Harry, one truth became clear. At Hogwarts, courage is not enough. You must be clever. Under the shadow of Dumbledore and Snape, Harry's placement in Slytherin came as a shock to everyone at Hogwarts. But most of all, to two people: Albus Dumbledore and Severus Snape. When Dumbledore looked at Harry, he didn't just see a child. He saw possibilities. The prophecy was still in motion. Harry remained the only one who could defeat Voldemort. But this Harry was different. Dumbledore adjusted his approach. Less warmth, more observation. Because what he sensed in Harry was not evil, but directionless power. Snape, on the other hand, saw something else entirely. Not James Potter, but Lily's sharp intelligence, and something far more unsettling. A darkness he recognized. So Snape did not push Harry away. He did not bully him, he tested him. From the very first lesson, Snape treated Harry differently, cold, demanding, but instructive. Snape never taught Harry dark magic outright. Instead, he explained how it worked. He taught him that a curse's true strength did not come from rage, but from control. And Harry learned. Quietly, quickly, dangerously. By now, Harry understood one thing. Dumbledore was watching him. Snape was preparing him. Two powerful wizards looking at the same boy and seeing two very different futures. And Harry moved carefully, aware of both. Because in this story, Harry was not a pawn. He was learning to read the board. The Chamber of Secrets and the question of the heir. When Harry's second year began, the walls of Hogwarts started to speak. Messages written in blood, whispers in the corridors, and one name echoed through the school. The Chamber of Secrets. While fear spread among the students, Harry felt none. Instead, he felt drawn to it because Harry could hear the voice coming from the walls. Parcel tongue. To him, this was not shame, not a curse. It was a sign. As he sat at the Slytherin table, Harry noticed the glances. Some filled with fear, others with hope. But Harry focused on one thought alone. If I am not the heir, then who is? That question unsettled him. Because in Slytherin, power is never shared. The title of heir of Slytherin could shatter the balance Harry had built. With Hermione's help, they discovered the creature was a basilisk, and Harry found the entrance to the chamber. But this time, he did not go to save someone. He went to face a rival. In the chamber, Tom Riddle awaited him. Young, calm, dangerous, Riddle commanded the basilisk, but the basilisk did not move, because the boy standing before it was not just a wizard. The basilisk sensed what lived inside Harry. Riddle was stunned. The basilisk was torn, caught between two heirs. That conflict caused the creature pain, and Harry, without hesitation, grabbed the fallen basilisk fang and drove it into the diary. As Tom Riddle's memory vanished, Harry realized something crucial. The darkness did not choose him. The darkness answered him. When Dumbledore arrived, he saw a savior. But Harry did not. He saw a threat that had been eliminated. And by the end of that year, one truth was clear to Harry. His connection to darkness was no accident. It was potential. The Patronus and the shaping of identity. Harry's third year marked a turning point, because for the first time, he had to confront fear itself. When Dementors surrounded Hogwarts, most students saw them as nothing more than monsters. But for Harry, they were a mirror. When Dementors approached him, the fragment of Voldemort inside Harry stirred. They weren't drawn to his memories alone. They sensed the darkness within him. That was why Harry was affected more deeply than anyone else. When Remus Lupin became the new Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, Harry learned from him, but he did not bond with him. To Harry, Lupin was not a mentor to admire. He was a resource to be used. Learning the Patronus charm proved difficult, because a Patronus requires a truly happy memory, and happiness was fleeting in Harry's mind. Eventually, he chose a moment, the first time he saw Hogwarts, crossing the lake by boat, realizing he finally belonged somewhere. When Harry raised his wand, the Patronus that emerged was not a stag. It was a serpent. A sign that Harry was no longer denying who he was. He was accepting it. Sirius Black's escape did not ignite rage in Harry. His desire for revenge was not driven by love. It was driven by reputation. If Harry wanted to become powerful and respected, this loose end had to be dealt with. Inside the Shrieking Shack, when the truth was revealed, Harry made his choice. Pettigrew would be handed over to the Dementors. It was legal, and it was effective. Harry chose outcomes over emotions. And that night, he understood something for the first time. Fear is not defeated by fighting it. It is defeated by controlling it. The tournament and Voldemort's return. By Harry's fourth year, Hogwarts had become more than a school. It was a stage, a display of power, and, for Harry, an opportunity. When the Triwizard Tournament was announced, Harry did not enter his name. But when the goblet chose him, he did not hesitate. Because Harry understood one thing. It was a trap. But it was also a trap that could be used. As the Great Hall fell silent, the Slytherin table smiled quietly. To them, this was not a scandal. It was confirmation. Harry Potter was meant to lead. In the first task, facing the dragon, Harry did not panic. Using Snape's guidance, he combined speed with aggressive spell work. He did not kill the dragon. He stunned it. Because Harry did not seek spectacle. He sought dominance. In the second task, Harry did not rely on luck. He received gillyweed from Snape. He kept information to himself. He did not weaken his advantage by sharing it. In the final task, Harry revealed his true priorities. When Cedric Diggory fell, Harry did not stop. He ran, not to save him, but to claim the cup. And the moment he touched it, everything changed. The graveyard, the cold, the silence. Voldemort had returned. For the first time, Harry felt something new. Not admiration, not anger, fear. But that fear did not break him. It awakened him. Harry escaped. But when he returned to Hogwarts, one truth was undeniable. Voldemort was real, and he was far more powerful. For the first time, Harry changed his strategy. He could no longer win alone. He needed allies, and the war had only just begun. The army and the first conscious darkness. By Harry's fifth year, he was no longer alone. But that didn't mean he trusted anyone. Voldemort's return was denied. The Ministry remained silent. Dumbledore watched, and Hogwarts was given Dolores Umbridge. Harry recognized her immediately. She wasn't someone who ruled by shouting. She ruled by poisoning. Harry did not confront her openly, like the Gryffindors did. He moved like a serpent. He placed Draco, Crabbe, and Goyle inside Umbridge's inspection system. On the surface, they served her. In reality, they served Harry. Because this year, Harry was building an army. But not like Dumbledore's army. This one wasn't for defense. It was for preparation. At Hermione's suggestion, it was named the Hogwarts Guardians. Their training ground was not the room of requirement, but the chamber of secrets, because no one else could enter it. On the first day, everyone understood what this truly was. Harry did not teach simple stunning spells. Instead, he taught devastating curses, just short of the unforgivables. No one objected, because everyone knew the enemy was powerful. And power is not built with gentle lessons. When Sirius died at the Ministry, Harry witnessed death firsthand. He did not scream, he did not cry. He decided. He chased Bellatrix. And the word that left his mouth was deliberate. Crucio. This was not a curse cast in rage, it was a message. Never try this again. In that moment, Harry understood something clearly. Darkness was no longer a possibility. It was a tool. Dumbledore's death and the silence of betrayal. Harry's sixth year was not a year of open war. It was a year of reckoning. For the first time, Dumbledore truly brought Harry close. He showed him Voldemort's past, explained Horcruxes, and most importantly, gave him only part of the truth. Harry noticed, but he said nothing, because he understood now. Knowledge is always given in fragments. When they descended into the cave, Harry did not hesitate. As he forced the poisoned potion down Dumbledore's throat, his hand did not shake. To Harry, this was not cruelty. It was necessity. Back at the astronomy tower, the night was silent. Then came footsteps. Draco Malfoy. His wand pointed at Dumbledore, but his hands trembled. Harry stood beneath the invisibility cloak. And for the first time, he hesitated. Draco could not do it. Harry knew that. But Dumbledore was already dying. Then Snape arrived. Harry felt relief. Snape would take control. But Snape spoke. And two words ended everything. Avada Kedavra. Dumbledore fell. Harry froze. Was this a plan or a betrayal? There was no answer, only emptiness. In that moment, Harry felt something deeper than darkness: isolation. And that night, Harry learned a final lesson. Everyone chooses a side eventually, and from now on, no one would receive his blind trust. Victory, power, and a new order. By Harry's 7th year, there was no longer a school. Hogwarts had become a fortress, and the wizarding world was divided in two. Dumbledore was dead, the Ministry had fallen, and Harry was no longer hiding. This time, only Hermione stood beside him. For the first time, Harry realized he did not want to lose someone. Throughout the Horcrux hunt, Harry changed. Wearing the locket did not weaken him. It sharpened him. More controlled, more ruthless. But he noticed something. This power was pulling him closer to Voldemort. When they returned to Hogwarts, the battle had already begun. Under the invisibility cloak, Harry went straight to the Chamber of Secrets. There, he destroyed the Horcruxes. Then he entered Dumbledore's office and learned the truth. He himself was a Horcrux. Snape's loyalty was real, and Dumbledore had planned everything. For the first time, Harry felt used. But this knowledge did not break him. It sharpened him. He found Snape and claimed the Elder Wand's allegiance. When Harry faced Voldemort, he accepted death willingly and returned. In the final duel, Harry did not cast the killing curse. He did not need to. The Elder Wand was loyal to him. The curse rebounded, and Voldemort fell. The war ended. But the story did not. Harry Potter was celebrated as a savior, as the leader who restored Slytherin's honor, and eventually, he became Minister for Magic. He was fair, but not merciful. Order was restored, but at a cost. And one question lingered. The man who saved this world, what had the world turned him into? Perhaps Harry was not dark, but he was not light either, and perhaps that was the most dangerous thing of all. Would darkness have won? Now take a moment and think. Did Harry truly win? Voldemort is dead. The war is over. Order has been restored. But at what cost? Harry never loved blindly. He never fully trusted anyone. And along the path to victory, everyone became a tool. Perhaps he saved the world. But what did he become in the process? Darkness did not consume him, but it shaped him. And maybe this is the real question. Darkness doesn't always need to win.